All right, what is going on, everybody? What is going on? This intelligent psycho here, coming to you live from my room. And so we got for you guys today. Got another video online for you today. Pretty much is a review for Thundercat's new album, Distracted, was released back on April the 3rd of this year, and it encompasses of 15 songs. It was like 47 minutes runtime. Of course, he's making his return. He had a plethora of songs. One of the biggest ones that I heard that that really got me, that caught me by not necessarily caught me by surprise, but caught me on my biggest fires was "No More Lies." And this caught me by surprise because I heard this song at least 7, 8 months ago, and actually this actually has a official, like, it had an official lyrics video, and it actually was an official single. And then of course I heard the song "She Knows Too Much" because that was also featured with Mac Miller, with his collaboration between him and Mac Miller. And if you don't know who Thundercat is, Thundercat is a producer. He is a producer from down in Atlanta. And so since the release of his last album, It Is What It Is, back in 2020 and 20 through 2023, he released songs. He released new music around this time frame with songs like "She Knows Too Much," "Funny Friends" with A$AP Rocky, and of course, like I said, the psychedelic theme song "No More Lies" with Tame Impala. And it finds its home as the second track on the album. He made multiple, of course, he had made multiple posts on social media's promotion for his LP, primarily TikTok, and many of his posts teased the upcoming release, and he also released a few posts on Instagram. And then early Friday, February, he stated that the release is going to be April the 3rd of this year. And he also made the first single of his album, "I Wish I Didn't Waste Your Time." And then, of course, "I Did This to Myself," which was the second single featuring Lil Yachty back in January of this year. And then the third single on this album, "She Knows Too Much." So the thing and why I really wanted to check this project out, because I haven't heard Thundercat's music in about over five or so years. And so I really wanted to get involved and really check this one out, because he has a lot of different arrangements. It sounds very cinematic, very euphoric, very forward thinking, and very eccentric, to a point where it completely captures your momentum and tension and feeling throughout it. And throughout every one of his projects, it's like a cinematic experience, like you're witnessing, a movie, but also through his arranging of vocals, his arrangement of music, and his arranging of songwriting. And I like the song in the intro, "Candlelight," which he and his other producer, Greg Kirsten, he's not on the album as much, but he is credited with this intro. And I like in the beginning where it's basically going in the rain, in the refrains of "Candlelight, oh so bright, burning in both ends, fighting the wind, don't let your light fade, watch the light do and the wax melts away. Should we met you to your end, look at me, you are my friend." So basically he's looking at this woman, or this female in particular, female friend or female, companion, foe and whatnot, looking at her like, like, can we get like a candlelight and dinner and moonlight and everything? I felt like that was a really good way to start off that song and start off that verse. Like I said, it's like it's telling its own life stories and tales, like you're encompassing and watching a movie. And so that's what I really care like about that intro to that record. Then of course the second track on this album, "No More Lies," with Tame Impala. The music video pretty much gives you it's like, more, it has like the lions and giraffes and tigers in the music video is pretty much like I said, and it also has a lyric video. Is like I said, very cinematic and very euphoric. Basically, I like the lines in here encompassing from Thundercat. He says, "I'm sorry, girl. I didn't mean to drag you in my dreams. Baby, no more lies. Feeling free. That's where it's supposed to be. For you and me, you and I both know it's harder than it seems. Love is a two-way street. I'm letting go because both of us don't need to drive. Baby, it's one at a time." And then I like the lines that we're gonna lose control of the wheel. Put your seatbelt on, because I think we're about to crash in a world of pain. There's so much work to do, so much to unpack, but it's not your fault. I'm just kind of ass. So basically, he's Thundercat in many different ways is encompassing his own version of how he feels the relationship could encompass or really could go. And he is metaphorically comparing and contrasting, his own version with this woman, and basically talking about, you want to keep basically keep your seatbelt on, think about the crash like an actual car crash, but to a point of just, this may be our last time, this may be our last night, but in a romantic way. I really feel like I want to blush on you, but at the same time, it's so much that we can compact and unravel. But I don't want to do that right now, because I want to get to that certain moment, and I want to try to admit our faults together. Admit our faults and admit our wrongdoings, but in a way where it feels very eccentric, very cinematic, and very exhilarating and thrilling. So yeah, I really like the way that track came about. And also in this last part of the chorus, I also like the lines where he goes in and says, "I'll just be on my own, just be home alone. My troubles on my own, and unless she wants to come back, I'll just be on my own. I'm dancing on my own, and I stay on my own unless she wants to come back." I like the song "Funny Friends" with A$AP Rocky on here, and I'm just gonna go pretty much a bit one by line in here. But in parts of this first verse, do you know who you are? Just take me as I am, take me as I am, and I'll leave you as you were, and I take me as I am, and I'll leave you as you were, and as you were, as you were. And he says, we're friends until the end, friends until the end, but it's not a hand in hand with funny friends until the end. Basically saying that, no matter what it can pose, no matter what love will take us and drive us through a certain angle and direction, we still can laugh and joke around like, we're funny friends, and like in this same inner circle and same, inner cosmetic and the same inner circle and space. The next song I'll talk about is the main single. I wish I didn't waste your time. And I love the lines in here. It says, "I thought everything was fine, but when did I cross the line? I really were the one for me. I never be the same again." You gotta know the lines. Just know where to draw them. And you think I'm too deep. Maybe it's all of my faults creeping up behind. I wish I didn't waste your time. I can hear a bitter wind knocking on my door. Should I just let in? I don't know anymore. Nothing quite feels the same. There's no one else to blame. I guess it's just all my faults creeping up behind. You got to know the lines to know where to draw. You think I'm too deep. It's all my faults creeping up behind. So he's pretty much gathering, he's pretty much unpacking and unveiling a lot of things as far as, he's pretty much gathering up a lot of, can I talk today? He's pretty much gathering up a lot of thoughts and a lot of refrains of just, the woes and ebbs and flows and ups and downs in this relationship. And I'm pretty much thinking that he's using music and the game as a metaphor of a woman, and also speaking in real life about, his woman, his lady in real life, how that their relationship may not be so opposed and may not be so accountable. And then the last song I'll talk about is this thing we call Love, featuring Channel Trez. And I like this line in here. He says, "There's no one here, girl. Taking your time. There's no rush. I'm not ashamed how I feel. This thing called love." And I like Channel Trez, but he talks about, he said, "It's okay with me. It's okay. If we get a little messy. Spend a day with G. Kick you around like Messi, Leonardo Messi." And looking at time going around, looks, whoa, 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 looks good. Can we walk this way? If that's your end, he need a touch up. Come and get this fade. My face spread open. I dive in. We lean and rock it, providing you high. And so overall, I like this album, Distracted, is because it gave me so many. It gave me so many ways of not only Thundercat himself. It gave me so many different ways of Thundercat's views on just women, his own relationship, because I think he's married if I'm not mistaken. His marital issues and stuff like that, and also the love of the game and music and how, you know, the feeling and the aspect of music, but then as a metaphor of like dealing with women in relationships. I feel like that was a really clever and a really good idea in an ideal way. Um, Not only from the title tracks, but just in the lyrics. I really feel like he's very uh, um, saying a lot, but just with a little bit of actions, but just delivering, but deliver a lot. You're saying a lot less. You're saying a lot more than what you're doing is very little in a sense. And I like the fact he gives you so much dynamics and layers, and he's not only peeling back so many layers, but he's adding different stressful situations, emotions that he was delivering at a time when he was taking his time and break away from the music, and he really was trying to experience so much in life, and he consumed so much around him as far as not just the women in relationships, but people in his inner circle, uh, friends being around him, just things like that. I really think he was expressing so much, and I really like the fact he did that. While a lot of the songs, as I broke down, from Candlelight, No More Lies, tracks 1 and 2, Funny Friends, track 5, What's Left to Say, with the Lemon Twigs, I Wish I Didn't Waste Your Time, and this thing we call Love. Like, those are my favorite songs on this album. I wish I could break down a little bit more, but those are the 6 records that really stood out to me the most, that really, really hit. And so I really do like this album a lot. I think this definitely will continue to keep being in rotation. And I highly recommend, if anybody has not heard this, to check it out. Really, really cool album. I give it 3 stars out of 4. Really, really good album. Solid enough. Highly recommend checking it out. And it's another artist that I wanted to talk about real quick, since I did mention that he has an album coming out May the 1st. Isaiah Rashad is back with his song called Same Shit. So, and you're probably thinking of the title, like, what's that going to be about? Pretty much, he has producers Don Oscar, Mario Luciano, and of course Nate Hobden. And this has pretty much been the main big single for Isaiah Rashad's record, Same Ish, off his album It's Been Awful. It's coming out May the 1st. He gave us a snippet of the trailer for the album, and of course, I think it was on like a farmyard, a farm, on a farmyard, excuse me. And I'll just tell you this, man. Isaiah Rashad continues to elevate his pen and elevate his craft. I really like the line. I really like in the chorus. And man, this is so catchy and so infectious. That's the main thing why I like Isaiah Rashad's music is his hooks and choruses is so catchy and it's so infectious. You definitely be caught instantly the moment that you end up hearing it. So I like in the chorus where he says, "It's the same ish, a rock in a pocket full of knots. The pills, the blow, the yak, the top, the drops swerve past the props. Safe the stash and the pad the lock. The man, the myth, the legend, the great. The plan, get the money till I'm dead. Perfected my little trap. Took me down in the chat. Out of Memphis and Japan. I'm running out of land. I feel like I could fly, just make 200 bands. Just living how I live. I made this my crib. Make this in my crib. Just focus on my meals, my plate, estates, my grass farm, the path and man, the math and yams." I mean, just again, that's just how much he just takes so it's just so effortless and how he flows with it and how he just continues to just, stretch it out to really, really get the audience and grab the audience and get their attention. And he really just grabs it in such a way where it's captivating, so integral, and so mesmerizing. It's like I was saying before about Thundercat's song titles and his singing and overall his chorus is how it feels so euphoric and cinematic. A similar thing could be said with Isaiah Rashad with his choruses because he finds some way to be catchy and ear grabbing and just earworm worthy. And I really love that about what he does. And that's not even getting to the actual verse. So getting to the verse where he says the cops are harassed as fast as hell from 12 to 12, the dash, the chills. It's laced for real, the cake and the spill. The fate, the work, the race, and the wheels. I circle and think it's late, but still, but today you get off your ass and live. The bass is something like a crash. Same a rock in a pocket full of knots. The pills, the blow, the yak, and the top. The drop, then the swerve, and the pass, the drops. Safe in the stash, and the pad, the lock. The man, the myth, the legend, the great. I mean, he's pretty much just encompassing this. He's just feeling himself. He's just, again, flexing, boasting, braggadocious, typical of what, not only Isaiah Rashad, but it's a different way of being humbly and braggadocious. And it's a different way of how he, continues to, craft his chorus and to craft his vocals and arrangements and choruses. It's like it's effortless. It's very drawn out to a point where it flows so effortlessly. It's so etiquette and it's so eloquently, beautifully stated and mastered. Like in the second verse, where he goes in and says, "My line getting 4 calls at one time is tired. My engine sound like 4 cars at one time. Let's slide. They mad, them niggas it's about me bad. Rashad in Paris, see a young nigga like me shining, be proud. It's working, it's great. It's late, but still, today you get off your ass and live. The bass is something like a crash. Then I do my dance." And of course, it goes back to the same chorus at the end. But yeah, just my thoughts is love this record right here. And it was a great start off for Isaiah Rashad to really get fans that have been waiting and clamoring for music from him for years. And after 5 years, of course, he takes it, breaks in between projects, from The House is Burning and then from from his last project. Yeah, excuse me. From his last project, The House is Burning and The Sun's Tirade. He takes breaks in between projects. Yeah, I got a little sidetracked. But yeah, like he does take breaks in between projects, but it definitely feels like it's eccentric and cinematic and very euphoric and very atmospheric and ambient sounding and feel. His vocals and ranges are very are very ominous, very gloomy, and very self-assured and very self-sufficient and sufficient, man. And I really like the fact that he does that throughout this entire record. Really hits you in so many different ways. Uh, so yeah, I really do enjoy this record a lot. Um, Definitely let me guys know what you think about Isaiah Rashad Saint-ish um, down in the comment section. And let me know what you think about Thundercat's new record. Just wanted to get this out here for my review. I haven't done much music in quite some time, so I figured this is maybe the perfect time to come back and do some more reactions and reviews. So yeah, be on the lookout for more as I'm coming out with some more content for you guys. So thank y'all for tuning in. Um, I got one more video to do and then I'm out. But yeah, peace.